One love, job bless. Fire Nelson here, and today I'm here to talk to you about truly manifesting and truly learning how to use affirmations so that you can manifest not only physical things in your life, but also mental and bodily and spiritual healing within you. So everybody in general knows the word affirmations. They know about saying positive things to themselves and about, saying certain phrases like I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am love, and these certain things. But many people I see on their journey have these tools, but they don't know exactly how to utilize them in a way that they are grounded within you, so that you actually have these qualities within you without having to, say them in such a often type of basis. And the reason why I really bring this up is because on my own journey, when I learned about affirmations and I learned about using them in certain ways, I found so much healing that I would have big, spiritual epiphanies and lots of healings that would occur during my meditations where I use affirmations. So that's one thing right there that we're already getting to that a lot of people don't realize affirmations can be used for. Meditations, when we are sitting to meditate, we are connecting with a higher source. We're connecting with our own divine source within us, and that divine source that has created us and is all around us. So when we are able to utilize our meditations for more than just sitting in silence and, focusing maybe on one point on your nose or the middle of your eyebrows, or a different part of your chakra, stuff like this. When we are able to use our meditation in other ways than just this, which are still good ways to use it, but when we are able to do that and shift our meditation to a more proactive meditation, then lots of different things start to happen, and I feel that it's actually very good for you to start your meditation with these practices. There's a type of yoga in the Hindu culture called japa yoga, where you chant on beads, and they usually will have a mantra or people chant Hare Krishna on beads. People chant all types of things on beads. There's rosary beads in Christian culture. They do Dikka in Muslim culture. So you go around these beads, and it helps you focus your mind. It helps you clear your mind so that after you get done going around the beads, you can then sit for another 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes and have more of a clear mind without so much clutter. And I've noticed that when you use this type of practice, instead of saying just a mantra, but an affirmation, that you are able to truly harness that affirmation and feel, and not only that, but you get a visual, almost movie in your head sometimes about how that affirmation is true in your life right here, right now. And it's a magical experience, from going from saying I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, to truly feeling I am blessed inside and out, and seeing how much you've been blessed in your life. These are types of meditations that you can't truly even describe or force someone to get into. It's your choice. It's you figuring out what word comes to you when you sit down and just sticking to that word, even if it doesn't sound right, or even if it doesn't sound, true to you. Stick with that word. If I am fearless comes up, or if I am beautiful, I am love, I am wealthy, I am rich, whatever you want to, you can put that word in there and actually embody that word. So it's that I am is truly becoming part of you. And I'm telling you, you really do feel a shift in you. You really do feel your eyes open. I mean, there's times where even I started tearing up and crying, like, because I realized how, either how wrong of a path I was on, or how much I've actually embodied what I'm affirming, and how much I already have what I'm trying to affirm. And then eventually, if you keep going down the state, you heal so much within you. You even can do a I am healed meditation and just see how much you've truly healed. And this may not happen on the first go around, or the first session of you doing this practice. But if you keep at it and you keep listening to your spirit, when you sit down and you're looking for a word, you don't pick a word and be like, oh, okay, no, I don't like that word. I want to pick something else because this is going on in my life and I want to do this. No, if a word comes to you, you stick with that word, because that's the spirit trying to guide you to opening your mind and maybe unblock some obstacles within your own body. So when you're able to utilize this, and especially with the beads, I highly, highly advise you get some beads. They're called mala beads. That's the ones that I use, but there's lots of different types, like I said. But when you are able to truly go around the beads and chant your affirmation, you feel that shift and you wake up from that, meditation session, and you feel different. You feel like you had answers, questions answered. And that's because you truly did. When we are able to tap into that source that gives us so much gratitude by feeling these affirmative words, we feel so much gratitude. And when we tap into this space, when we're already sitting in that meditative state, and then we add gratitude to it, it just excels our spiritual awareness even higher. When we add gratitude to any practice or any situation in life, it excels that situation 10 times. So in meditation, it's the same thing. When you are feeling that you actually have embodied these, phrases, you feeling that you're the wealth within you, you're feeling the abundance within you, you're feeling the love within you. When you're feeling these feelings, gratitude is what you should be feeling more, not pride, not, a chase even to continue to want more and more information. Because sometimes we be getting downloads and the Most High tells us things, and we be wanting to sit there and get more and more, and then maybe the next meditation we're expecting more to happen, and even sometimes the whole week you don't get as much information as in one meditation. So it's not about chasing that feeling, it's about accepting that feeling and then taking that healing with you. We're not sitting in meditation to get these super intense experiences every single time. That's not the reason why we're in meditation. The reason why we sit in meditation is to heal ourselves from the mind, heal ourselves from our ego, heal ourselves from our body, and being a slave to these, organs, these actual entities within us, these things that run on their own timing, these things that direct us. The body directs many people in this world. Many different parts of the body direct people. Their stomach directs people to do certain things, The lower half of their body directs people to do certain things. The reproductive organs direct people to do certain things. The heart directs people to do certain things. And then the mind, of course, we know directs people to do a lot of things. And lots of times the mind is so corrupted that if you even eat something that's not nourishing, that's not good for you, then the mind can come even more erratic. So really, we are 9 times out of 10 thinking with the body. But when we're in that meditative state, we shut all that down. We let all that go. and we become not the body. We become something more, something divine. We become that darkness, but we also become that light. You see, in the meditative state, in an enlightened state in general, there's no duality. Everything is happening for our greatest good, and we can see how our life has been divinely blessed, regardless of what you've been through, regardless of whatever hardships you may be going through now. There's a reason for it. There's a lesson that came from it. Think of the hard stuff you went through in the past and how much you've grown through that. So these are what these affirmations will do for you. It's not, that's why I wanted to really get this out, because it's not the same effect when you're just saying it in the mirror every day or every other day. It's not the same effect when you're saying it just before you go to bed. It's nice, of course, but we want to really feel these things. And lots of times people will, say, oh, do your affirmations and things like this, but it's not really helping. And that's because you don't truly believe it. You can try to trick your mind all you want, but until you calm everything else down and truly tell yourself and force yourself to understand that you are abundant, that you are wealthy, that you are loved, that you are smart, that you are beautiful, that you are blessed, that you are lucky, that you are privileged, that you are safe, secure, protected, healed, whole, one, love, all these things. When you sit down and you actually meditate on this, you're able to actually feel this. You're able to actually realize how you have been these qualities your whole life. And you're able to now focus on those divine qualities instead of focusing on the negatives, and help grow those divine qualities even more, so that you no longer have to ask for anything when you pray, anything when you meditate. And then here's another tip. This is the last tip I'm going to give you for this video. But when you're doing these affirmation meditations, sometimes it's a great idea and great practice in general for you to, instead of saying I am, identifying with I am, because we want to, essentially get away from the I. We want to get away from the separation of I, and realize that it is always we, So a great practice is, instead of the I am, once you've really healed yourself with the I am meditation, to just say the word and embody that word and realize that word and really feel that word and feel the energy that word brings. So instead of saying I am loved or I am blessed, just saying blessed. Just say love, 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 healed, 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 and just embody the word. And then when you're able to do this, you can really break down the word and really feel the word. Healed, healed, blessed, And it may sound funny at first, but trust me, the less you think so much of the I am, and you keep yourself centered in just the being. Not I am being, but you are love. You are blessed. You are wealth. Not you are being, or I am this. You are it. So just say wealth, abundance, abundance, abundance. And then when you do this, like I said, it may sound silly at first, but when you do this and you stay consistent at it, you'll see the shift in your life. First, it will happen internally. I remember when it was happening internally, and I was really, really desperate for it to happen externally. I was sick of the environment I was in. I was sick of, living meaningless conversations and situations over and over again. I wanted something else in life, and I knew something more was calling me. But it changes first internally. But give it time, and then it will change internally. But you have to be patient. You have to be consistent. You have to keep at it. You can't give up on your practice because it doesn't seem like it's working out. The Most High tests us in many ways. And we have to always be aware that this life, though, these spiritual practices aren't the tests. These spiritual practices are your nourishment. These spiritual practices are your birthright. These spiritual practices are what you need to do. It's not what you should or want to do. This is what the body, the mind needs to connect with the spirit, so it's not clouded by all this pollution the world brings. Even this noise is pollution to us. But we become so numb to it that we're not like, oh my gosh, what is that? But really, the birds are what we should be hearing. Clean water is what we should be drinking, not out of plastic, but out of the river. Good fruits and vegetables that aren't mass produced and mass cultivated is what we should be eating. But we have fallen so far out the way that we do not know what is nourishing. And lots of times, even when we do figure out what's nourishing, we don't seem to care. I care. I'm sure you care. But, many people don't. So heal yourself. Use these affirmations in a deeper way. There's a wider context of how we can use affirmations to truly benefit us and truly shape us into our greatest and highest version. These little bits of spiritual practices here and there, saying stuff in the mirror, reading off a Bible verse every other day or some positive quote every other day is not going to really make you change. It's going to help. Keep doing it if that's all you can do. But you want to use these things in your other practices, in deeper practices that actually take more time. We have 24 hours of the day. 7 of that is usually spent sleeping or brushing our teeth or taking a shower, and even more than that, really. And then the rest of that spent maybe at work doing this and that. And then another, 7 hours people just waste. So we really only have maybe 7 hours in our day of free time. So if we aren't using a majority of our time devoted to giving thanks, or a majority of our time just immersing ourselves in spirituality and our true self, then we're giving all of our time to the world, really. We're giving the mass majority of our time to the world instead of to the Most High, instead of to nature, instead of to our own self. That's how they keep you in a trap. That's how they get your mind so confused. That's how they get you so conflicted about which way you should go, this way or that. Even in the Bible it says, my people are so confused they don't know between their left hand and right hand. So we have to realize that these little bits of spiritual practices, these little feel-good bits of spiritual practices are great, but you want to do more. You want to take more time into your spiritual practices and use different techniques. Take the Bible verse that you read, in the morning, and maybe do a round of beads on the Bible verse. That's another great practice that I do, and it's a great way to learn Bible verses or any other wise quotes that you want to learn or memorize and really embody. People say meditate on the word. This is what they're talking about. I'm trying to give y'all the keys. I'm trying to break it down into a way that you can truly simplify it so that you can repeat the process and tell other people, oh yeah, it's simple as this. Meditate on a word. Yep, boom, that's exactly what they're talking about. You go around on your mala beads and you meditate on the word. You meditate on an affirmation. You meditate so that you can connect with a higher source, so that you can get out of the body, get out of the outside environment, this illusionary world. And then once you're able to do that, you'll be able to heal, like I said, and you'll be able to truly elevate to your best and highest self without blockages, without fear, without guilt, without anger, without all these vices. So I hope you try that practice, doing affirmations on malas, on rosaries, on whatever you want. But, I advise malas. That's what I always wear every single day. 24/7, I have a mala just in case I want to meditate, and you just go around it and you just keep saying that word, even if it gets boring, halfway through it might get boring, trust me. But then a little bit more, 3/4 of the way, you start feeling all these feelings and emotions. So just keep at it, keep practicing, and trust me, you'll feel the difference, and your life will become different. It will become better in the best way possible. So if you haven't, I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, share, subscribe. It's getting a little loud and hectic over here. I guess there's a lot going on in Babylon. So I'm gonna head on out, get me some watermelon, and see what's up with the doggies. One love. Ja.